everyone. Welcome to Book Club Preview. I'm Michael, and today we're looking at Charlie Thorne and the Lost City, Part 2, At the Edge of the Amazon, and looking at Chapter 14 and 15. Chapter 14 starts off with just telling us about the Amazon, which is an incredible river and area in South America. There's so much life and a different, we call it diversity. You have a lizard, but in Amazon, that one lizard might be like 10 different kinds of lizards. For example, let's say a chameleon. Maybe have like one cool chameleon, but in the Amazon forest, there'll be like 20 different kinds of that chameleon. And that's for fish, for plants, for insects, for everything. It's just a really incredible place with so much life. Now, Charlie and Dante and Milana, they start off in the city of Napo. And they're kind of preparing, getting their supplies. They're getting a speedboat. Charlie even talks to Milana a little bit and says, "Hey, remember when you betrayed me?" And Milana just doesn't really reply to her that much. But they kind of get all their stuff prepared, and then they start going down the Amazon River and down this smaller river, which is still huge, the Napo. Now, on this boat ride, a lot's going on, but one of the funniest parts is Charlie starts to talk about all the dangerous things in the Amazon. And it starts because Dante has there's a lot of sun, so he has long sleeves on, he has long pants on, he has a hat on, and where he doesn't have clothes covering, he's putting on sunblock, a lot of sunblock. And Charlie starts teasing him, and Dante says, "You know the most dangerous animal in the Amazon is?" And Charlie's like, "Oh, I know, of course, it's the mosquito." But she's like, "But it's actually the mosquito is the most dangerous animal or insect in the world," which is pretty crazy. And he's like, "Yeah, a lot of people die from mosquitoes, and most of those deaths come from South America." But then Charlie starts to say, "Yeah, but the anacondas are really dangerous this time of year. They've been eating chickens and dogs in town. And oh yeah, don't forget about the candiru. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Candiru fish. And this fish is kind of spooky." And actually you see Dante going like, "Ooh," when Charlie's talking about it. Because while you're swimming in the water, which a lot of people have done, if they go pee in the water, that little tiny fish, and I don't know how or why or what it does this, but as the urine is coming out of your body, it swims up that spot. And that's called the urethra, which Charlie talks about. And then it sticks inside of you and starts eating you from the inside. Whew! That does not sound nice, but that's a real fish. And there's also bullet ants, which is this ant, and it has this poison in it. So if it bites you, that bite actually feels like someone shot you with a gun. And there's plenty of other things in the Amazon that can kill you, hurt you, and they talk all about it. And Dante's face is getting wider and wider and wider. Although it could be the sunblock, we don't know. Well, Charlie's thinking yeah, there's a lot of dangerous things out here, but really the most dangerous thing is the humans. The animals and the insects, most of them are being killed from us. And as they're driving their boat, they can see this huge oil factory that's clear cut a lot of the river and the trees, and it's just producing oil for boats and things like that. And so all these changes, changing South America to be more modern, modernization, has actually just destroyed so much of the rainforest that humans, we are the most dangerous thing on the earth, which is what Charlie's thinking about. Now as they're going down the river, a plane starts to come down, and it's a water plane, so it has these, they call them pontoons, and that allows it to land on the water. It's coming down, and they're like, "Man, that plane is really low." And they're like, "Oh yeah, and that plane is following us. That's really strange." Dante's like, "Oh, it's probably just a coincidence." And then Charlie says, "It's not a coincidence." And then Dante turns the boat, and right as Dante turns the boat, bullets start to shoot out from the airplane. Yep, more danger from humans. And that starts with chapter 15, which is really exciting. This is all from Esmeralda's viewpoint, right? So Esmeralda's coming in, and she's thought like, oh man, should I take a boat? Should I take a plane? Should I take a car? Well, Charlie already got a head start on me, so I need to go fast. So I think I need to get a plane. It's going to be faster than a boat, but not quite as flexible as a boat. So they end up getting a plane, and then they find Charlie really quickly, and they also buy guns, then get ready. Now, they're shooting at the boat, and they're even throwing dynamite, blowing up, and covering them with water. And Charlie's like, they have dynamite! And so she tells Dante, we got to do something. And Dante's like, let's go to the shore where there's trees and we can get some cover. But the Amazon River is so wide, and this is incredible. And they talked about it in the last chapter. But where the river meets the ocean, it can be like 200 miles long. That's incredible. And in this part where they're in, it's about a mile or 3 long. Let's imagine they're in the middle, and I say it's a mile to the coast. So maybe 2 miles. 2 miles long. Oh my goodness. That is an incredibly long river. Imagine if you're in a car driving 60 miles an hour, that would take you 2 minutes to drive across this river. Wow. So Charlie says, no, the shore is too far away. It's too dangerous. There are some oil tankers over there. And oil tankers have oil in them, which can explode. So Dante says, no, it's too dangerous. And Charlie says, don't, listen to me. Go towards the oil tankers. And Dante's like, no, that's crazy. Charlie gets really angry, and she just runs and jumps off into the water. She takes things into her own hands, and she starts swimming towards the oil tanker. Now, Esmeralda, her brother, sees what happened, and he says, oh, the girl jumped off, and she's swimming. They can't see her because the Amazon River's really, I don't want to say dirty, but it's filled with dirt. There's a lot of dirt in the river, and so they can't see anything. So Esmeralda decides to keep trying to attack the plane, and they keep trying to shoot it, and Dante's kind of going back and forth. Okay. So the plane comes in a few times, and Milana has been waiting the whole time just to like shoot the airplane, but they're not ready for that. And pistols aren't really good against airplanes, but she's been waiting. And this one time they come in and she goes, pop, 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 pop. And she hits the windshield, she hits one of the brothers, and she even hits the engine. And so the plane kind of gets some damage, but it's not that bad. But so they're still in there, Esmeralda and her brothers trying to kill Dante and Milana. Charlie finally swims and climbs onto this other boat, which is really hard because the boat is trying to suck her underneath it, and her arms are tired from swimming. She gets on top and starts pouring the oil all over the top of this barge. Now she pretends to open up another lid just so that way the airplane can see her. And the airplane does see her, and it turns over to attack Charlie, because Charlie's the biggest threat. Esmeralda knows that. So they go in, and they're gonna aim and shoot for Charlie, and Charlie's running, and she jumps off the boat, and they're shooting at Charlie while she's in the air. But of course, while they were shooting bullets, a fire explodes off the boat. So Charlie falls into the water, and I don't know what happens to the plane, but that's just kind of how it ends. Charlie does drop something very important on the boat, but we don't know what that is, and she didn't have time to check it. She just ran. That's how chapter 15 ends. Okay, a lot of vocabulary here. Fluctuated means to change, go up and down, left or right, and the river width fluctuates. 200 miles, 300 miles, 1 mile, 5 miles, based on the rain and things. Refurbished is to kind of like make new again or remodel. Strike up means to start. So I think she was striked up a conversation, started a conversation. Excursion is like a short kind of walk or adventure or outing. Under his skin, if you imagine like a mosquito bite, mosquito bite itches, but you can't get to the itchy part because that itchy part is underneath your skin. You scratch the top and get some relief, but it's really the inside that's underneath your skin. And so Charlie likes to tease Dante and get under his skin, become annoying. Sediment is like things that float down to the bottom. So dead things, dirt, mud, heavy things in water. If you have like a glass of orange juice and you pour a glass of orange juice, everything is mixed in there. But if you let it sit, slowly over time, the heavier parts of the orange juice will fall to the bottom, and then the top will be a little light color and the bottom will be a little darker color, and you want to mix it. And that's why whenever you buy cold orange juice, they always says shake. You shake before you drink it, because the sediment. Slathering is covering thickly. So Dante's slathering his skin with sunblock. Ominously is like in a dangerous way. Oh, the anacondas are the worst thing. The mosquitoes are gonna get us. Things like that. And Charlie's teasing Dante. Grimaced, we've had this word before, I believe, but maybe the brother grimaced when he got shot. Can't quite remember. Oh no, that was all in chapter 14. Chapter 15 vocabulary. Improvise means to do something at the moment, to think of something at the moment. Plume, I wish I had a picture here, but if you imagine like a Roman soldier had this helmet with these feathers or fur on the top. That's called a plume. And so a plume is also like vertical splash. So when the dynamite, boom, exploded, the water went psh, plumed into the air. Stranded means to be left alone. Concussive is like a force, a push. So when the dynamite explodes, the air that's moved out of that spot is a force. And so as Charlie's swimming under the water, she can feel the from the dynamite exploding in the water. The concussive force. Impetuously is rashly or without thinking it through deeply and just taking some crazy instant action. Doused is covered with water, usually, like covered with water. Tourniquet is kind of a device to stop blood from flowing. So the brother gets shot in the arm and he rips off his shirt and ties it tight so the blood doesn't flow out of his arm. That's called a tourniquet. That leads me to my discussion question. If you were Esmeralda, would you go for the boat first with Dante and Milana, although you don't know who they are, or would you try and go for Charlie first on the barge with all the oil? What would you do if you were Esmeralda and the brothers? And of course, please make your own discussion question. That is all the time that we have for today. But thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Book Club Preview. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. Hey, if you have any questions about the video today, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you had any other vocabulary words that you wanted to know what they meant, let me know. And also, if you're interested in maybe joining one of these book clubs, please leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.